He called my breast milk liquid gold. I told him it would shut down his liver. I stood up in the middle of our dead silent, open plan office and looked my 6'2" sales director dead in the eye. Brad, my doctor just called with my lab results, and the breast milk you stole from the fridge and drank this morning is laced with highly toxic bacterial medication, I said, my voice carrying over 50 cubicles. You need to go to the ER right now before your liver shuts down. The sheer, suffocating silence that fell over the sales floor in that moment was something I will remember for the rest of my life. Keyboards stopped clacking. Headsets were slowly lowered to desks. But to understand how I ended up publicly executing a high-level executive's career on a random Tuesday, you have to understand the pure, unadulterated hell of returning to corporate America as a new, pumping mother. My son, Leo, was barely 4 months old when my unpaid maternity leave ran out. Coming back to the office was a physical and psychological marathon. My body was still healing, my brain was severely sleep-deprived, and my chest constantly felt like it was filled with crushed glass. Twice a day, at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., I had to pack up my heavy, awkward pump bag, walk past rows of staring colleagues, and lock myself in the wellness room, which was really just a repurposed supply closet that still smelled faintly of industrial bleach and old mop water. I would sit on a hard plastic folding chair under flickering fluorescent lights, hook myself up to a machine that made a relentless, droning mechanical sound, and sacrifice 30 minutes of my workday to make sure my baby had food. Every drop of that milk was a labor of love, sweat, and physical pain. I treated those opaque, medical-grade Lancino bags like they were filled with crushed diamonds. I would carefully seal them, write the exact date, time, and ounce count on the top in thick black Sharpie, and place them in the very back corner of the communal breakroom fridge, tucked safely inside an insulated grey cooler bag. For the first 2 weeks, it was a grueling but functional routine. Then came a bleak Monday afternoon. I finished my 3 p.m. pumping session, walked into the breakroom, unzipped my cooler bag to add the fresh batch, and my stomach plummeted into my shoes. The 2 bags I had pumped that morning were gone. At first, my sleep-deprived brain refused to accept the reality of the situation. I frantically tore the fridge apart. I moved people's moldy Tupperware containers, shifted around half-empty bottles of Diet Coke, and practically crawled inside the crisper drawer. Nothing. I felt the heat rising in my neck and my vision went blurry with panic. Had I forgotten to put them in? Had I thrown them away by mistake? I spent the rest of the afternoon questioning my own sanity, quietly weeping in my car on the drive home because I had to supplement Leo's night feed with formula. 2 days later, it happened again. I placed a fresh, 6-ounce bag into my cooler at 10 a.m. When I returned at 3 p.m., the zipper of the cooler was slightly parted, and the bag was completely missing. This wasn't an accident. Someone in this building was actively hunting for my breast milk. I marched straight down to the Human Resources Department. My hands were trembling with a mixture of profound violation and maternal rage. I sat across from Brenda, a woman whose entire personality consisted of corporate buzzwords and conflict avoidance. I explained exactly what was happening, expecting outrage. Instead, she offered me a placating, deeply condescending smile. Charlotte, I completely understand why you're stressed, Brenda sighed, lacing her fingers together. But let's assume positive intent here. Maybe someone mistook it for coffee creamer, or perhaps the cleaning staff threw it out thinking it was expired milk. I'll send out a gentle reminder to the floor. Brenda, it's stored inside a sealed, personal cooler bag, and the bags are heavily printed with medical measurements, I hissed, leaning over her desk. Nobody is mistaking human breast milk for French vanilla coffee mate. But this wasn't just a story about a creepy coworker stealing a few ounces of milk. Before this nightmare was over, a high-ranking executive would be sobbing on the bathroom floor, HR would be pulling security tapes to prevent a federal lawsuit, and the entire corporate hierarchy would collapse over a protein shake. And the best part, the weapon I used to destroy him was nothing but a bluff. Follow on-screen instructions for full video.